Dobro večer svima. Hi to everybody. I'm extremely happy to say hi to Sergey Dvortsevoy. Hello, Sergey. Can you hear
Hello.
us?
Hello.
Thank you very much to be with us. I'm a huge fan of your work. I think I learned more than I know from your work because, as I said, when I was preparing this masterclass, I was reading again some interviews with you that I read 5 or 10 years ago, and I realized that many things that I thought was my discoveries I actually learned from your interviews from before. So you're extremely influential to me, and I believe to many other people. So Sergey Dvortsevoy is, I hope all of you know that, but let me shortly introduce him. He's a Russian director who, in his career, filmed 6 films, 4 of them documentaries and 2 fiction films in 25 years of career, which doesn't sound a lot. Do you have some more films that you don't show, Sergey? Maybe, or you just?
No, I have only this. But not 6 documentaries. I have 4 documentaries and 2 fictions.
Yeah. I'm sorry, my bad. 4 documentaries and 2 fictions. But let's start with something quite interesting to me. That you actually wanted to be a footballer when you were young. I read that somewhere. Is that true?
Yes. This is truth. I made sports school, and I dreamed only about football. I slept with a ball, and everything.
And what went wrong?
Well, because I when I was 17, I was invited to a professional football team in one Kazakhstan city in the center of Kazakhstan, and but I didn't join the team because I had a wound and I had problem with leg, and that was dilemma, or either I have to join the team and to be a football player, or I have to join aviation college. And I chose an aviation college just because I had problem with leg. That was difficult, some wound, chronicle, and I felt that I cannot play play like I wanted to play. I wanted to play a good player, but to be a good player, but I couldn't be a good player because of my wound. And now I think if I would be a player, I would not be such a good player. Also, I think that was just my dream.
Well, I think it's good for us that you didn't go to football career, because maybe your film career wouldn't start then. But after failure of your football career, you didn't go straight to film school, right? You had the whole other career in your life.
Yes, I had a very strange way to film, because as I said, I made aviation college in Ukraine for 3 years, and then I joined Aeroflot, a Russian Soviet Union aviation company. Now it's Russian aviation company, Aeroflot. And I worked for 9 years in Kazakhstan in this aviation company, and I was an engineer in the plane. I was responsible for navigation systems for the radio stations and everything in the cabin, and we flew over small Kazakh cities and villages, and I know very well Kazakh countryside.
And what made you go to film school?
Stupid chance. Just once I read article in a local newspaper in Kazakhstan. Article about that was not a real article. That was advertising of film school. They wrote they invite young people to join film school in Moscow, and they ask to send them some essays or some photos or something what you can show. You can show your some creative sides, but I didn't have anything because I never written anything, and I never make photos, and I just immediately wrote something and sent immediately, some essays about my grandmother, about some my life, and I said, and I forgot, I forgot, and in 1 month I received a telegram, saying that you passed first step of exams, and we invite you for the second step of exams to capital of Kazakhstan. And I went to capital. I was surprised very much, of course. I couldn't imagine that I can pass first step. And then I went to capital of Kazakhstan. I passed second step. Then they invited us to Moscow for the last step. And I also passed the last step. And I was really, was my thought, maybe that this is some mistake, because I knew nothing, about films. And in the article, in the advertising, it was written that they invited to join documentary department. But for me, it doesn't matter, because I didn't know anything about documentary films. About fiction film, I saw just standard, regular fiction films in cinema. And when I joined documentary, they asked me in the exams, they asked me what documentary films but just one day before, I saw one documentary, especially because I knew that I have to pass exams, and I saw one Soviet Union documentary film. I said I saw this film, but I think I don't understand why they took me, really, because maybe they wanted to have some strong students, and one student is completely silly, empty, just to make experiment, to make experiment. What can be from this this full stupid guy? But I think that was my advantage. Because I was like clean sheet, nothing. I knew nothing, and for me everything was new.
So you quit your job, right? Was it hard to start from zero? Because how old were you at the time?
I was already about 30. I was 29, some like about 30 already. And of course, it was very strange to quit my job in Aeroflot, because I had already a kind of career. I was a small chief of some local, team, and all people around me, they were surprised very much. Where are you going to go to film? They said, because nobody could imagine in that time that it's possible to join film school without money, without help, without familiars, without some I don't know, help from somebody. I said. But I joined myself without any help, without any money, without anything, and people were surprised very much, and they said, "Oh, please don't make mistake, because film is difficult, and who are you?" and so on. But I was very brave. Maybe I was silly of it also, but also brave. But that was spontaneous decision.
So let's talk a little bit about your student film, Shasti, which sometimes they translate with happiness, sometimes paradise. Which is correct of these two? Can you say?
There is no precise translation, because in Russian, in Kazakh language, it's bakıt. It's like happiness, between happiness and paradise, because for them, for shepherds, they move to a place what they call not happiness, but kind of paradise. But in the Russian language, it's like счастье, but it's not very correct. I mean, between paradise and счастье and happiness.
Okay. how do we call it? Happiness then? What is your
better paradise?
Paradise. Okay. So this is 30-minute film about a family who lives in steppe in Kazakhstan, and it has only 17 shots, I think, 16 or 17, right? It's it had you have shown distinct style from your first film, I would say, of having long shots, steady observing of the situation with very steady camera mostly. Maybe we can watch a first clip from the film, and maybe you can tell us how what the more experienced colleagues of yours thought about this way of shooting at the time.
Opinion of my my. If there is power, then I need to absorb this. That was my let's say approach, my approach, and that was by chance. That was just in my thinking about this. I didn't want to make films like some other directors. And my teacher, when I made this film, my teacher at film school, he was not happy with this. And he said, I don't want to watch it because it's, he said, you cut yourself. You took out very strong scenes. Why you cut all this? Why you don't want to explain audience about Shepard, about his life more explanation? And it was not easy to make such a film at a film school. It was my study film. And I had some problem with teachers, but that, for me, it was clear. I was very stubborn because I knew very well what I want to watch and what I want to present to audience.
During our talk, we will run some clips from your films. I must warn our audience that sometimes YouTube stops the streaming if they think that this is copyrighted material. So if something happens, if the streams interrupts, we will be right back. So don't worry about that. But hopefully it won't happen. Okay, we have just seen the scene from Chasti with the small boy who eats kefir milk. What is it? Yogurt.
Yeah. Sour milk.
Yeah. Okay. So I heard that your cinematographer at the time that he thought that you're doing it all wrong, this scene. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Well, you know, I said I was a student. I was a student of film school and complete newcomer. And for this film, I found cameraman in Kazakhstan. That was experienced guy. And he knew that I am a student, of course. And when we started making the film, I said, let's just take camera and just let's observe, let's just shoot the boy eating the sour milk. Because before I saw, once or twice, I saw the boy eating. The boy eating and also sleeping after the sour milk. And I wanted to capture this, but I didn't know how to capture. I asked his mother when we can capture. She said, who knows? Sometimes he eats and sometimes he sleeps. Sometimes not. And I asked my cameraman, take the camera and let's wait. Let's wait. What can happen? And of course, that was a big camera. That was negative, 35 negative, you know. And he was not very happy because he was experienced guy, and he got used to film regularly, like, you know, to make 10 seconds of something, then next stop, next text 10 seconds, and so on. And he didn't understand me. He said, how we will tell me what we want to do. And I just explained nothing, just let's film this boy from one point, and don't move camera if the boy will eat and something will happen in front of you. Don't move camera, and first of all, don't stop camera. Even if you feel pause, if you feel silence, if you see nothing happens, but don't stop camera until I will touch you, I will show you. And he said, listen, you don't understand because you are a newcomer, and you don't know Eisenstein. Do you know Eisenstein? Who is Eisenstein? Eisenstein, he made like image of a boy. He would make image of this boy. We need to shoot a little bit from this point. We need to change point and to shoot from another point and from some points, and then you will edit this and you will have image of the boy, you know, with close shot, with wide shot and everything, like editing image. And I said to him, listen, I don't want this. Of course, I respect Eisenstein, but I don't want to follow Eisenstein's style, because in Russia, Eisenstein is like icon, you know, icon of filmmaking. I respect him also. I think he discovered a lot of things. But why we need to follow him? Why I need to follow? If I feel I need to shoot like that, why I need to follow Eisenstein? And I said, and it was very difficult to convince him, because he was very stubborn, very experienced, and he said, no, you are wrong. We will spend all our negative and for nothing, he said. Then I decided to make a compromise. I said, okay, let's shoot two options. One option is my option. We will shoot from one point, just don't stop camera, and we will shoot completely the scene from one point, and no change of lens, no change of, anything. And next, option, we will shoot your option from different points, and so on. And he also insisted to shoot mother also. Mother's doing something. I said, okay, you will shoot also mother. But I was completely 100% sure that I'm right. Because why we need to change position of camera? Why we need to stop camera if we see a complete power, energy, life energy, and so brilliant that, I felt this like, like electricity, like I felt energy around us, much energy. Why we have to kill this energy just because some Eisenstein invented some, editing language? But why? Why there are many languages we can talk, we can present image. That's why I was newcomer, but I knew very well this. And I was also very stubborn. But after that, I changed the cameraman when we left the set for the break. I changed him. That's why I have 4 cameramen for this short film.
4. Okay, but when do you stop the camera? How do you feel when is the time to stop the shot?
Well, when he got to sleep, when he was sleeping, and then I felt we need to stop, because energy stops, and there is a zero.
We have another clip from this film. I just saw that people cannot hear us talking during the clips. So this time, let's watch together, and then we will continue the talk after the clip. So please, can we see this
Okay.
from Chas?
Karangar, basın sıkı oldu.
It is very hard to choose clips from your films because you have very.
I know.
It's very long, and the more you watch, the more brilliant it gets. So, but we cannot watch film here. We want to talk to you. So, but this is maybe for me the most memorable scene from this film. And how did you shoot it? How did you know that the cow will have his head stuck?
I saw once when we came to that place. I saw that scene, not exactly like that it was on film, but I saw that they pull the barrel, and I asked them why, what do you do, what are you doing, and they said time to time the cow tries to drink water, and sometimes there is this problem with the barrel, with his head and barrel, and then I asked myself how I can capture this, also how I can capture, and that was very simple idea and very simple approach. Just wait. If I also said to another cameraman, there was another cameraman already. He was younger and he was more flexible, and I said to him, listen, just take the camera and when we see the cow coming to the barrel, we have to switch on camera immediately, and then we have to observe. Don't stop camera. Don't stop camera. Just if anything can happen, but don't be afraid, and just film what we can see. And he said, okay, I would prefer. He said, I would prefer to put camera to tripod because it's quite a heavy camera. And I said, yes, but if you put camera to tripod, then maybe the cow will run and will destroy your camera and yourself, and we don't know what can happen. That's why it's interesting. We don't know. And then he was just with handheld camera, and we tried many times because cow tried once, and she was afraid, and again, and so on. That was just water in the barrel, and the cow was thirsty. That's very simple explanation why the cow puts head into this barrel, just because of very hot weather and thirsty cow. And of course, we spent much negative. We had many tries, and just once when I saw the head, and when I saw his ears inside that is inside the barrel, I said to cameraman, don't stop now. Even it will be, no movement or something, just don't stop. And for me, very good moment when we just understand that the cow, head of cow is inside and nothing happens, and you feel, you feel energy, of life, you feel time, you feel everything. That's why I like this kind of scene, because I feel life very closely to myself, to audience, and to me also. And I feel everything. I feel even sand, I feel wind, and every slight movement. That was just a very simple approach, but very difficult at the same time, because to film like that, we need time. We need time to wait. We need time to understand first life, first of all, and then we need time to analyze, and then we need time to wait. And we can capture many, many miracles, but just this is a matter of time.
Also, I think takes huge self-confidence on your side did you ever doubt that you should change your approach? You were just a newcomer, your first film, you're doing something that everybody are saying it's the wrong way, but you're still dedicated to do it. How?
Yes, I shot some regular scenes, like, some interviews with shepherds, with shepherd. I also shot something, some explanations, but during editing, when I saw scenes, when I saw the editing, my editing, once it was like, for me it was like discovery. I just suddenly realized that I need to take out all scenes which explain life. I don't need explanations of this life. I need just some deep, unique images of this life. And I left only strong, unique images without any explanation. And then I realized that now I like very much the film, because I feel flow of energy. I feel flow of life without any pushing, any directors, try, to push life, to present life. It's just life present itself, That's why that was for me very difficult decision, because I was in the mixing room already 3 times, and I just left mixing room because I was not satisfied with the image. And of course, all people, sound people, and all people, they were angry with me. And after I cut all these explanations, I realized that was like fog just disappeared, and I see the film what I wanted to have.
Would you agree that for a film director it's important trait to cope with anger of others in a good way?
You're right, completely. Especially for me, of course. I'm a wrong director. Let's say I make everything wrong compared with regular way, and of course I meet this pressure at many moments, and because I'm very stubborn, and I'm following my approach, and some people, they don't understand, and day by day and year by year, I feel more and more pressure of money, pressure of people who consider film like just business, not art at all. And they don't want to try, they don't want to change, they don't want to wait. They just, there is a plan, and, everything must be like planned, But I think that for film, for real cinema, it should be a little chaos. It's not, when everything planned, then it's like watches, like precise, everything precise should be when we make watches, and watches, they are precise, but art cannot be precise. And I think it's necessary to have, for director, to have possibility for little chaos.
Okay, so let me one more thing about your film school. Now, from this distance, are you happy that you started your film school at 30s, or you would prefer that you started it earlier when you were a teenager?
I think that was my advantage. My advantage. I was lucky. I was lucky because, you know, by that age, I had a lot of experience, a lot of life experience. I knew very well countryside, I knew people, I knew relationship. And I think the most important thing is to know life, not to know editing, you know, everything, all technique, because technique is secondary. This is secondary. We can learn it very quickly, but to learn life, to understand life, to have your life experience and thinking of life, you know, this is a very precious thing. And I think that was, for me, it was just by chance. Now I cannot imagine that they could take, maybe you a teacher, Neboshai, you know, maybe now every student has like 10 films already, or like this. And now it's impossible to take a student who doesn't have any film. But my case shows that it's sometimes it's worth, you know, worth to take someone who has life experience and nothing more.
Okay, so now we go further to your next film, which is called Bread Day, Хлебный Dan, right?
Yes, I know. Chleb is in Croatian language also chleb, right?
Yes, we say it, we understand it. And Dan is Dan also, so it's very similar. It's film about a village where only old people live, and they get bread once a week, and they have to push the wagon themselves for how many? It's a long way, right?
2.5 kilometers.
Yeah, maybe we watch first a small clip from the film.
Давай. Поехали. С разгончику. Разгоняем. Разгоним.
So this shot that unfortunately I had to interrupt, that you should see the film, the whole film. It goes roughly 12 minutes, right? You were following with the huge camera through snow, watching these people doing the hard job.
I think 10 minutes, because you know that was also 35 mil negative, and we had big box. And one big box is about 10 minutes, I think. That was only one box we spent completely from the start to the end.
So this whole film has also only 17 shots in 50 minutes. Yeah, but so by watching this first, this is the opening shot. It's exhausting to watch it in a way. What was it your intention to show the heaviness of the work?
Well, I don't want to just to torture people, to torture audience, but you know, I felt that I can't show just, you know, like comics. Yeah, I can't show just few seconds, you know, because it's really a long way. And how to present this long way? Of course, I couldn't show all these 2.5 kilometers, but I needed to feel audience how it's difficult, how it's hard for these old people, and also how they are, you know, they are together and they push together with the wagon, and also this absurdity of this situation. And I just took beginning of the distance and the end of distance, and I just have one cut because we shot beginning together with cameraman, and then we put camera inside, we pushed together with people, and then we shot end of the scene. It was really hard scene to how to present this, because this is like quite absurd, you know, to shoot, you know, to shoot old people pushing wagon, and just two young guys just shoot them. That's why we wanted to help them, but at the same time we must shoot, because this is film. We have to present them on screen. That's why it was very difficult scene, physically and morally also.
But how come you choose this topic? It seems to me when I watch topics of your films that you like that one of your big topics is coping with wilderness, and even your last film, we will talk about it later. Moscow looks like a jungle in it, you know, like a wild world. But is it the topic? How do you choose your topics?
Well, first of all, I try to understand the subject. I try to understand people. I don't want to think about my approach or about my style or something. I don't want to think about this. I want to think about my characters, about my situation. I want to understand their life, essence of their life. And then I want to find some images, some unique moments of life which can reflect their characters, reflect their relationships, reflect of their, let's say, image of their community and their life. And for this film, when I saw the wagon, I came to the station and I saw the wagon and the bread seller. I came also by that wagon to the village together with the bread seller, and when I saw how they push wagon, how they buy bread afterwards, I realized I need to make film, just not exactly immediately after I came. I also lived there for several days, even maybe 1 week or something. I lived with them in the village, and then I realized that I need to shoot how they push wagon to the village, then how they buy the bread, and how they push back. Because before, my initial idea was to make short film, just to make film how they push wagon to the village and how they push back. And I didn't plan to shoot how they buy bread and how they communicate. But when I was there, when I lived with them, I realized life, and I realized that bread is very important for them, and also because bread is like heart of their life, and the wagon is like cross. They just carry cross, big cross, and this is their cross. And everybody, we have our own cross. But when we see this, when I am as a director see this very live, very true symbol, because I don't like to make symbols. I don't like, but this is a real metaphor of life. And when I met this, I immediately changed my plan, and I decided to make long film, like 1 hour film, and to shoot also how they buy bread. And I knew the structure from the beginning. I knew the structure because it was clear for me that I need to shoot these three, let's say, 3 parts of the film. But of course, it was very hard to capture how they buy bread, how they communicate. And that was big luck for us because we made this film together with cameramen, just 2 people. And I recorded sound myself. And I worked as an assistant of camera. And also he worked as my assistant. We just 2 people. And it was really hard because it was 35 mil negative, huge ARRI BL2 camera, and very, very heavy physically. But we were very lucky because we spent only a ratio of material was 1 to 2.5. 1 to 2.5. Can you imagine this for negative, for 35 negative? Because that was like explosion in the shop. That was explosion, and we just shoot, as much as possible. That was big luck, and this film like miracle for me because now if I sometimes ask myself how we could capture this, I don't understand really. And that was big luck.
How long do you prepare before starting the shoot of documentary, and when do you know that it's time to bring the cameraman in?
First of all, I come myself to the place, and I spent like 1 or 2 weeks myself with people or with in the situation, just to live with them without shooting, just to live, maybe with small camera if it's possible, but sometimes not, because on bread day they didn't like if I shoot. They didn't like from the beginning. They didn't want to be shot. They didn't want if somebody can will shoot how they push wagon, how they live, because they are very shy of this life. And I spent time just living with them, just 1 or 2 weeks, I think about 2 weeks before. And then I invited cameraman, and we lived with them for 3 months. And we made film during these 3 months of living with them. We lived like they live. We also, we bought bread a lot, and just living with them, I realized that bread is so important. And we also bought many loaves of bread, a lot of bread also, because we knew that maybe wagon will not come next Tuesday. Nobody knows because of snow, because of circumstances, That's why they buy a lot of bread, just in case, just in case. And we lived with them, and we shot, gradually. We shot without any pressure. Just we tried to shoot several times, the same things. And we when I make a film, I never use script. I don't write script for documentaries. I just have initial idea how to shoot, how to make the film, and then I watch the reality, and then I develop and I analyze reality, and I make a film. For this particular film, for Bread Day, I knew all as I said from the very beginning, the structure, but I didn't know exactly what will happen inside the shop and everything. And that's why I like documentaries, because I don't know what will happen. And I'm like in dark room, I'm looking for light. In this, and my documentaries film is also like this. I'm looking for life. I'm looking for real life, for miracle of life. That's why for me it's very important that I don't know what will happen. That's why I don't write scripts, because for me it's absolutely ridiculous, let's say.
So you're 3 months there shooting. You don't get to see any rushes, right? You didn't send your material to be developed. You just...
No, we had break. I think once we had break, like just few days. we brought material just to develop, and we saw something. Yes.
How do you know in this film and in general when your documentary is finished, when it's time to
finish?
Stop, yes, to go home and start editing?
Well, for Bread Day, I knew what I said. I knew structure, and I knew that I have to finish when we will shoot the last scene, when they push the wagon back. And we were lucky for this film because we were lucky, but they were not lucky because it was difficult for them, because the wagon was frozen, and that was very frost night before, and they couldn't push the wagon. They tried several times, and that was big luck because and we saw the scene when they communicate, like sometimes I felt that they communicate like children, you know. Sometimes they make jokes, sometimes they argue, sometimes they fight, you know. And this scene is full of life. And when we shot this one scene without any stop, I was completely 100% sure that this is the end, because this scene is a miracle, a real miracle. And when you shot miracle, then you feel this immediately, you know, because of energy, very strong energy. And the end was excellent because also goats, they also came to the shot, to the frame, you know, and everything was on frame and full of life, full of power. And that's why I was sure. But usually when I make a film, I edit in parallel, not for Bread Day, but for all other films. I edit in parallel, and then I understand how I have to finish the film, and I'm looking for the end, because very important how you end the film, and to find right end is like 50% of success.
Before moving to your next film, I just have one more clip from Bread Day, which is a really miracle clip. So let's watch it. Just. Yeah, love story.
Yeah. This is a real miracle, yes. And now I watch this and I also don't understand how we could capture this, really. It's so unique, so full of energy, full of power, full of everything, and full of love, what you said.
You said that you never write scripts for your documentaries, but sometimes you have to write because of the way the films are financed. So for your next film, you were forced to come up with a script. It's the film Highway. Can you tell us a little bit how it went wrong? We have also a clip from this film, but maybe you first give us a short introduction.
Yes, that was after success of Bread Day and Paradise. One Swiss producer, Chantal Bergheim, she proposed me to make a film together, and we decided to make a film. And I started from idea to make a film about truck drivers who carry melons and watermelons from Kazakhstan to Moscow, to make a film about highway, about their activity, their business. And I spent much time researching this, and I found people. I made some tries with them. I spent much time talking to them, everything, like strong preparation, I would say. But my producer, she said, I need script, she said. I answered, I never write scripts. She said, yes, I understand, but we have BBC, we have some other TV channels, and they require, this is a requirement, they need scripts. This is like rule of channels, TV channels. I said, okay, let's do like this. I will write how I can imagine the film, how I think about the film, what I think about film. And I wrote something. I wrote some story, what I've heard from truck drivers about this way, how they carry and everything. That was, but I knew that it's just script for TV channels, just very formal thing, not important. And I said to her, listen, this is just formal script. I will not follow this. You need to understand. She said, okay, no problem. And we started, and then, we prepared everything, and my cameraman came to that place, and we already was about to start. And just one day before the start, we came to the market, local market, to buy some vegetables and fruits for our journey. And I saw family circus. I saw Uzbek family circus in the market. And that was so strange, so unique, and so brutal, and at the same time very tender, that I was just watch them, and I asked myself, what a strange circus. And then we went to that place to shoot the truck drivers, and along the way, I asked myself where we are going. Maybe there is a film in that market. These families, our characters, our heroes, but not these truck drivers. And I was so much stuck by these people, by these circus. But then I said, okay, stop. We stopped the car, and we came back to the market, and I talked to them, and I decided to change completely the characters. And I made film about family circus, and not about truck drivers. And my producer, she just saw the film when I shot already, and she saw it, and she said, well, but where the truck drivers? Where the film? You said you make film about truck drivers. But film was very good, and she was satisfied. That's why maybe she didn't punish me, but she said, okay, but next time, please tell me before. First, that time I couldn't call her first. I was far from the city. Of course, I could tell her, but I could not explain her really, because I'm sure she would not allow me. She would not understand my idea. That's why I am saying that I make sometimes very difficult decisions and wrong decisions. I mean, compared with a regular way, but I'm very sure that I'm right. That's why I change everything. And I'm very stubborn with this. And I feel like when I feel that I'm right, then I became like a tank, I just go straight forward, and nobody can stop me.
Let's watch a short clip from Highway, please. You said that for you it's important on your documentaries that you're always ready for shooting. But how come that you never swapped to digital? You're shooting on 35, which is not, or 16 later on, right?
35, first two films, 35, then Super 16.
How come you don't use digital? Because for your way of working, it would be probably much easier to just to keep shooting lots of digital material until you get the shot.
Well, first we had in Russia, in Moscow, we had like kind of tradition to make films on 35, even student films. You know, we didn't have much Super 16 equipment. We had cameras, 35, and we had local film stock, also not good one, but not expensive. And two first films I made on 35 because it was that at that time we didn't have digital equipment. But then for me, it was important to make films on film because I feel that I need some limitations. I need something what will limit me. You know, that something what can give me more possibility to be concentrated, for concentration, to just when I feel that I have negative, then I have only like several takes and not more. Then I think twice or more times, even more times, why I need to make film and why I need to switch on camera. Maybe I don't need to switch on camera. Then I just realize, just observe life. But when I film, then I'm sure that I need to film this. I need to capture this. And this limitation of negative, limitation of takes, gives me much more concentration, much more thinking, much more understanding of life. That's why this freedom of digital equipment, on the one hand, it's a lot of advantage, a lot of possibilities. But on the other hand, it's like life, you know, when you feel that you have only this life and there is no repetition, then you spend all your energy to achieve something, you know, to you know, you will live differently when you feel that you have only this life. But digital, it's like you can shoot whatever. That's why people, what I feel sometimes people shoot, they don't need to shoot, but they shoot just because of equipment, because of cheap. Everything is cheap. Why not? But my question is why? Yes, why I have to switch on camera? Maybe the best shot, the best decision is not to switch on camera at all. Maybe best decision is just to observe without any camera. But then when you realize, then you understand life, then you can capture much more profound things, much more unique things, when you really concentrated and when you really wait for something. And this thing, what you wait, happens, you know. And that's even now, I think, I don't know, next film I will make on digital or even now on film, even again on negative. I'm thinking, because it's give much more power, much more energy, even for actors. when I make now fiction films, even actors, when they feel camera, real film camera, they feel this noise of camera, you know, this strange noise of camera, then feel like it's like something very important, and they give it gives them more energy to play, you know.
On your documentaries, you were often recording sound yourself, right?
Yes.
How come?
Well, because I hate big crews, you know. I don't like when I have many people around me and many people around situation, around characters, about these people. I don't like administrative work, because the more people you have, the more this administration work you need to do. You need to, you know, to keep this crew. And for me, the best way, if I can make film together with cameraman, just two people, this is the best way. But sometimes it's impossible because we need driver, we need something. Of course, I understand that very often my sound is not perfect. Sometimes I make a compromise. Some sound recordists, they told me on Bread Day you could use a radio mic for Bread Cellar, and we would have better sound of Bread Cellar. You could put some microphone to that place, to that corner, to that, you know. But yes, of course, technically we could do everything, but in that case we could lose the atmosphere. We could lose life. We would have best sound, excellent sound, but not life. And my priority is life. I want to capture life, and even if I don't have excellent sound, it's not a catastrophe. I have sound and we understand everything. But of course, if it's possible, I will try to get the best sound what I can get. But in this case, why I make sound myself? Just because, not because I don't respect sound engineers or sound people. I respect very much, especially because I had my education also. I was engineer on plane, and I know very well some radio equipment, and I respect these people. But just for the sake of life, I try to cut my crew. But even now, when I make fiction film, I have only 15 people around me, 15, you know, because I need also. I need to work with energy of life, but I don't need to fight with the crew. I don't need to fight with drivers who does want to drive car or something. I don't want to spend much time for this administrative work.
But did you ever try or want to do everything yourself, including camera work on your documentaries?
No, for documentaries not, because for me it's very important to feel life around camera, to see everything. Because when the cameraman shoots, because cameraman concentrated on subject, and very good cameraman can also observe a little bit live, a little bit more than on camera, but not 360 degrees, you know. But I want to observe everything. That's why for me it's very important not to shoot myself, not to be with camera myself. With microphone it's possible, because I can also control situation. Because when we shoot, I try to capture everything what is possible and what is unique, what is good, what is important. But to understand what is important, I have to be free of attention, you know, free of this attention to camera. Only once I made camera in my last film, Aika. I made myself maybe half of camera work, but it was fiction film. But it was just not because I wanted very much, but it was just because of situation. Just that was difficult to find right camera assistant, because it was long time shooting. You know, we spent much time, and I shot half of material myself, even on film. But it was just, you know, way out.
But so in documentaries, do you then during shooting give a lot of instructions to your cameraman? Do you tell him shoot this, or you leave him to improvise and to follow his curiosity?
Well, no, I don't like complete improvisation. I like a lot of discussions before the scene. For instance, the first scene on the bread day, when the train comes to the station, we discussed with the cameraman everything. We discussed with him options. When the train comes like this, or when the locomotive driver will go out or not, what kind of discussions can be, what camera movement should be, what you have to shoot first of all, you know, and what is secondary. We discuss a lot, and we trained in that place several times with camera without train, just to understand options, just to understand how to move with camera, you know. And we have a lot of discussions. This is my approach. I discuss as much as possible, but then when we shoot, the cameraman knows, let's say, corridor of improvisation. He understands what is possible, what is not possible, and he improvises inside this corridor. He makes improvisation just when he knows everything, and he can decide how to move camera. But I'm also close to camera just to change something if I feel that situation changed completely, what we didn't discuss, and we have several signs how to move camera. I touch him, for instance, I can touch his shoulder, and even sometimes I can whisper something to him, just to move, and he knows my movement. I can say, for instance, to right, fast to right, for instance, fast to left, and very, very few signs, but a lot of when we have a lot of discussions, cameraman understands, and for him it's easier because he understands more or less what to do, what is important, what is priority, what is not so important. And I don't like when cameraman makes everything just movement around and everything. I don't like, because every movement of camera is change of energy. Every stops of camera is change of energy and killing of energy. Every change of lens is also energy. That's why I don't like very much to use zoom also, because zoom is fast change of energy, and we need to have a real reason, a real strong reason, to change energy. I'm very, 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 let's say, careful with movements, because I don't like, very fashionable movement of camera. I don't like when camera starts shaking all the time if energy is stable, and I feel that cameramen make this movement, this shaking, just for fun, just because it's fashionable now to have handheld camera. Why? Sometimes when we feel energy like this, then yes, it's important to feel energy, and camera just follow the energy. But when camera starts shaking all the time, for me it looks like very bad acting.
Okay, let's jump to your last documentary, In the Dark. Let's first watch a little clip, please, and then we talk about it.
Ну-ка, слазь. Слазь оттуда. Сейчас достану палку. Ах ты безмозглая скотина, бесстыжий, блудня. Ты что, совсем рехнулась, а? Шпион! Я тебя сейчас поймаю, я тебе так дам, так дам.
Уйди оттуда, Сергей. Ушел.
Most of this film, In the Dark, was shot in a small flat. It's a film about an old blind man, well, not that old, but and his cat living together and fighting all the time, but also being the best friends. How long did you shoot this film?
This film was for me the longest one. Shooting time. It was like one year of communicating with him and 1 year of shooting. Of course, not completely 1 year, but time to time. But completely, the period was 1 year. But I spent with him, maybe if we can calculate, I spent also about maybe between 2 and 3 months.
So it was the last documentary in your career so far. Is it something in this film that pushed you to fiction, or was it just something that was you planned from before?
No, it didn't push me into fiction. I felt after this film and during this film, during shooting, I felt that it's getting more and more difficult morally for me to make documentaries, because when I made my documentaries for my film, people who I shot, they were not happy with this, because it's real life, and they of course they knew that I'm shooting everything, and they knew that I shoot real life reality, but people think anytime people think that they look better. If they look better, they look better than you present them, and they are not very happy with this. And when I shot, when I was making In the Dark, I felt that it's like absurdity to make a documentary about blind old man. He's quite, by the way, he's quite old. He was 81 years old that time. He didn't look like very old, but he was very old, and he was blind, completely blind, and we could shoot everything. He could not understand when we shoot, when we don't shoot, and we could shoot everything. And the strongest contradiction of documentary filmmaking for me is the worse for people, the better for director, and the worse for old blind men, the better for us. And believe me, we could shoot a lot of very difficult, morally difficult scenes, and for me it was hard to present this film, hard to present this character. And I asked myself how I can present this film. I need to find a way. And I felt that maybe I need to leave some our mistakes in the film. Then when we made some mistakes with camera or with sound, that's why there is a take what you showed now with the cat, because in the end of the scene, I was recording sound in the another room, from the another room, and I didn't know what exactly happened there. And I came in the room with the microphone, but cameraman, he was shooting. He didn't stop shooting, and he just argued. You know, he just said very bad things to me that I destroyed the scene and so on. And I felt that despite this mistake, I need to leave this scene completely with all these mistakes, even with original sound, just because I wanted audience to understand that we are also open. We also make mistakes, and we present our mistakes, not only his mistakes, not only his life, what he cannot control. He cannot control his life because he is blind. And it was the most difficult from moral side film for me, documentary film for me. And that's why I decided to stop making documentaries after this film, just because I felt a lot of too much contradiction, too much moral pressure, too much absurd. You know, I felt this absurd also on Bread Day, for instance, when I said, when we filmed the old people pushing the wagon, instead of helping them all the time, we just shoot them. This is also kind of absurd of life, but this is reality. This is life. We want to watch films, and maybe film is much more important to make a film than to push wagon, maybe. But it's matter of discussions, because matter of priorities, also discussions, also contradictions, and that's why I decided to make next film is fiction, just because I was very tired of difficulties of documentary, and also because for all my documentaries I spent much time, and I became a friend for these people, and they became also friends for me. I'm not a technician. I spend my soul, I spend my heart, I spend my blood, everything, to make these films. That's why they're very difficult, and it's very hard to quit with these people, to jump to next film, to forget about them, all these moral aspects. Maybe, but this is only my experience. I don't insist. I think every director decide himself or herself how to cope with this. But for this is just my experience, my private, individual experience. Maybe I will be ready to shoot in several years documentary film again. But now I don't feel much energy inside me to spend again, time like this.
We have another clip from In the Dark where you entered the shot, not this one that you described, but another.
Где это? Что там, Сереж? Где? Откуда?
Ну,
Выдра.
ой.
Только сзади там не тусуйся.
Нет, а что, я мешаю?
Нет, вообще по жизни.
Не кошка, чудовище настоящее.
Сейчас дела.
Ого. Бандюга. Я не достану без этих. Ну, даже. Ого. Сейчас. Тогда надо палкой. И там, и тут. Вот ты, банда. Спутала? Бандюга. Теперь на 2-3 часа, то и больше распутывать.
So this is a point where you stopped being professional and you became part of the film yourself. This is what you were talking about, right? One of these situations when you have to decide, okay, this is a very benign situation, but...
Yes, even now when I watch this, I remember this bloody cat, this stupid cat. You know, in this situation, why I started helping him, because I saw that it's already became painful to watch how this blind man tries to unwind, you know, all these rings, you know, all these threads, you know, and I was sure that I need to help somehow, and I didn't know if it will be possible to cut this or not, but I just felt I need to help him in this situation. I thought maybe I can cut out something, you know, but then I decided to leave all this, just because what I said, I felt that otherwise it will be very strange to see this film and to observe this blind man. But it was so, you know, it was so painful subject for me, because we lived with him and he liked very much us. He liked very much that we film. First, he could not believe that we want to make film about him, because he said, I'm just a very ordinary man, blind man, why you want to shoot me? And then he believed, and then we became like his friends or even his relatives, you know. And this cat was so powerful, and on the one hand it was like enemy of him, because the cat felt everything, and the cat felt when he works with threads, and the cat, even he was sure that the cat specially made something wrong, something against him. He felt like cat is like enemy. But on the other hand, cat was a friend also, because he was with cat and he talked to cat. And for us also, the cat was like made of gold, because you can imagine we shot on 35, on Super 16, on Super 16 negative, and the cat felt the noise of camera. And when we were waiting for the cat coming to the frame, she will never came in, you know, because she felt the sound of camera. And it was so difficult, you know, everything in this film, because very, very, very ordinary flat, very ordinary room, very ordinary furniture, very ordinary man, a very stable, static face, you know, very empty, like empty eyes, or almost empty sometimes. Sometimes they're alive. But, you know, for me, it was, that's why I try to find a way how to present this very unique, special case, special film. That's why I have, you know, I appeared on screen 2 times, or I don't remember how many times. Just, it's not like an experiment, let's say. This is just how to present reality, such a strange reality, and how to cope with these moral aspects.
Okay, so then you started making fiction films. You made 2 fiction films so far, Tulpan and Aika. Both of these films look so real that sometimes we will show a clip from Tulpan soon, but just by watching clips, I don't think that someone who does not know your work can say which is documentary and which is fiction. And what is, in your opinion, do you make a big distinction between documentary films or fiction? These days we talk a lot about hybrid films. What is your opinion on this? What is the difference between the documentary and fiction?
Well, you know, when I make film, for me there is difference. There is difference, because when I make fiction film, when I make documentary, I make documentary. I mean, difference with the nature of filming, because when I make documentary film, I never think up scenes. I just capture what I watched, or what happens once, you know, only once in front of camera. I just capture reality. I don't think up reality. And the skills of documentary filmmaker is for me is to first of all to understand how to capture this reality. What skills, what tools you have to capture reality, and you have to wait. First of all, you need to have time for this, definitely. Then you have to need, let's say, you have to wait to be ready to wait. Because some cameraman said to me, in that film, In the Dark, he replaced my cameraman once, and he said, I cannot wait. I cannot sit with camera 8 hours and waiting for this cat. He said, I cannot wait. It's impossible to be concentrated for 8 hours, waiting for cat. He said, it's just impossible. That's why it's very important to have certain aspects, to understand reality, to have some skills how to capture this, to wait, and everything. But on fiction, I create everything. I mean, sometimes, of course, I shoot reality. I shoot some, for instance, actor in real situation. But I don't. But I even now even in this situation, I create image. I create the movement of actor. I create acting together with actors, and we create this everything, every slide moment, every second. But on documentary, I don't. Yes, I also create, but I just capture, because on documentary, very important capturing. On fiction, very important to create this, and in fiction, my films, they look like documentaries sometimes, because they are very alive, very truth, very alive, very powerful. But it's fiction. Everything is fictional. I mean, I made this story. The story is very close to reality, very close to real life. I try to follow reality, but at the same time, this is like everything is made. That's why for me there is a strong difference. But I mean, just the approach, how to make this. But in terms of image, for me, doesn't matter, fiction or documentary. It's like this is visual art. This visual art. The difference for me is, first, you capture these visual images, or you create these visual images. There are two different things. But of course, for me, there is difference.
We will see now a scene from Tulpan, which looks very documentary, about one of your characters helping a sheep to give birth to a small. It's a long scene, but we will see only a little excerpt from this film, from this scene. Can we?
Давай, ты burada мистер?
Бесполезно.
This scene is extremely realistic, and I presume that this is real sheep. We witnessed a real birth, but you created it at the same time for the fiction. Can you tell us a little bit how did you make this scene?
Well, this scene, of course, this scene is very close to documentary. This is this real scene, of course. The actor, the man, he plays a shepherd. He is not a real shepherd. He is opera singer. In real life, he is opera singer. And but he lived 1 month before shooting, working as a shepherd. I made him to make this. But you know, the sheep is real, and everything is real. And we wanted to shoot how shepherd helps to give birth, you know, for the sheep. And suddenly the small sheep, she was too big, and the sheep could not give birth. And the shepherd, he wanted to help. He wanted to how to say, you know, to save the sheep. He wanted to make breathing, you know, to make her to breathe. But he couldn't make, because the sheep was not. It was weak. It was weak, and the sheep could not survive. And it was a real situation. You know, this is fiction, yes, fiction moment, but at the same time, there is very alive element. This sheep was real. It was real, and the actor he was playing, but at the same time it was real, and for him it was like strong energy of life affected to him. And but of course the situation is fiction situation, but the sheep is real, and that was real death, because the sheep died, you know, the sheep really died, and it was by chance. We couldn't plan this. We wanted to save the sheep, and he wanted to save the sheep, the small sheep, the baby sheep. And what we can say, this is fiction or documentary. Of course, this is fiction, but at the same time, fiction with strong documentary aspect, strong documentary side. And in this scene, what we didn't plan, and because of this situation, because of this death of baby sheep, I changed script because we didn't expect this. And in the script, it was different. It was not the dead sheep, not dead baby sheep. And just when we shot this scene, I realized this is very unique situation and very important, full of life and death. And I decided to change script for the sake of this scene and for the sake of the story.
So you're open to such accident. This is your method to adapt all the time to reality, even when you make fiction. Would you say that?
Yes, exactly. That's why I don't like. I'm not such a director who just illustrate scripts. I don't want to illustrate scripts. I don't want to mechanically and just to illustrate literature. I want, because for me, script is just something to make a start from, just first initial story. And then I know from the very beginning of the shooting, I know that I will change it. I will change it depending on life, depending on actors. Maybe something will happen with actors, something will happen with animals, or with weather, because weather is a very important part of dramaturgy for me. And I'm open for this. I'm looking for some directors, they stop shooting when they feel something change the script. When something happens in changing the script. For me, on the contrary, I like very much this. I like very much then when I don't know how the film will end. I don't know the end of the film. I want to find the end. I want to find, not only to find, but I want to create life which will show me the end, which will tell me the end. Not me as a director will tell the end to audience. That the film will tell the end, and the main character will tell the end of the film.
I read that you write for fiction very precise scripts, unlike for documentaries, but then you make also a small model film or maquette. How do you say it, right?
Yes.
Can you tell a little bit about that, please?
Because what I said, because I write a script. I write script because it's important on fiction to have an initial script. I write a regular script, but then when I write the script, I realize I know for sure that this is just literature. This is literature. If it's excellent, if I feel everything is excellent, why I need to shoot this? Then I have to write a book. It's better to write a book when everything is said by words, by sentences, by words. That means that I need to find some images with energy telling this story, but not by words, but by images. And then I just, first my step, I just illustrate all the script. I illustrate. I make a maquette, let's say, model of the script. I just shoot one scene by one, and I shoot completely the script, just using some assistants instead of real actors, or sometimes real actors, sometimes real locations, sometimes different locations. But I need just to make, to have, like, you know, flow of story in front of me, and to weigh up what I have, where film is, where I feel energy of image, how I can tell the story by images, how I can change the story, but to have not literature, but to have images what tells much more than words. Because if you have unique scene, the more unique scene is, the more associations you have. You cannot say, for instance, you cannot say when you see this eating boy eating sour milk from my first film, you cannot say, who is this? Yes, this is boy eating sour milk. But at the same time, watching this, you understand that this is like very strong image of life, very strong image of tenderness. By the way, one Kazakh director said to me after watching Paradise, he said to me, "Why you shot this? Why you present this boy? He is dirty. He is dirty. He is dirty with sour milk in his jacket, and here on his face. It's not nice. He is not nice. Better for you. It would be better to show sunrise in Kazakhstan." I said, "Listen, you can not imagine. For me, this boy is like sunrise. You know." This boy is for me is like a real sun on the sky. It's beautiful. It is beauty of life. He is not ugly. He is not dirty. This is real beauty. We just understand differently beauty of life. But for me, this is beauty of life. And there are a lot of explanations of life, a lot of associations. That's why I'm making this model. I'm trying to understand where I can find these images, and where literature, too much literature, where I have to cut literature, how I can replace literature by images. And then from that point, I started working with image. After this model, what I have, like complete illustration of script. First, complete illustration of script. It shows me how I can find film. how I can find energy of cinema, energy of film, power of film, how I can find. And from that point, I start thinking a lot about composition, about shape, about time, everything, all these cinema aspects.
You said somewhere that sentence which I like a lot, that to you the film is much closer to music than to theater or literature.
Right.
Can you
Yes.
explain a little bit? Why do you think?
Because very often some people ask me why you don't use music, why you use so little music in your film. I ask because I like music. I like music, and but I don't like illustrative music. I don't like when directors use music like to just to save bad dramaturgy, just to keep to put mood, to put energy, because music is very strong aspect of film, and I know very well this, I understand this, but but I think the image itself, it's like music because it's like energy spread in time, energy of image. Music is energy of sound, energy of sound spread in time. But film for me is like energy of image spread in time. And this change of energy, flow of energy, this is like music, like flow of music. And when I make a film, when I edit a film, for me, I consider film like a musical composition. And I feel where I have to make energies more energy, where I have to slow down energy, where I have to make zero energy, where I have to to change everything very fast. I'm thinking just about editing the film. I edit energy in time. I don't edit thinking. I don't edit dialogues. I edit only energy. I am just managing with energy, changing energy. And this change of energy, very close to music, how I feel music. That's why I use very little music, especially illustrative music, because double music is not good.
And I know some musicians told me that for them music is very similar to mathematics, or they use mathematics in their music. And you're an engineer. Do you use mathematics ever, or do you think it has anything to do with filmmaking?
I understand musicians, what they say. Of course, film is also like a task, like a mathematic task, like to achieve some decision. But for me, I am not a mathematic director. Because when I feel mathematic or in film, it's not so important for me. I don't like much, because when I understand that director make this scene just to tell me this, the director makes this scene to tell me that, I understand every scene. I think this is there are many good films made with this mathematic approach, let's say. But for me, very important spontaneity. When when I don't understand what is in front of me, how director made this, when I feel that this is just miracle, this is only miracle, and I don't understand. Even I don't want to understand. This is just looks like miracle what director shared with me. And I like very much when I feel spontaneity, when I feel that director doesn't understand himself, how he could show this, how he could create this. When I feel this magic, for me, this is the best thing. There are very few directors who are really magic directors. not mathematics. But and I think for directors, very difficult to be spontaneous, because when director made one good film and he was successful, when the director starts thinking and starts analyzing this success, how I could achieve this success, and the more he analyzes, the more difficult for him to be spontaneous next time, because this calculation of success, this is something different. That's why I'm on the one hand, I also analyze a lot, but on the other hand, I'm afraid very much to analyze too much, to understand too much. I like very much to doubt, to be afraid of reality, to be afraid of story, not to understand to the very end of the story. I want to be a child for every new film, not to be professional for every new film, but to be a child. Like I watch first time this, I think first time about this, I don't understand this, and I don't want to understand quickly about this. I want to doubt, to be in doubt. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult to keep this spontaneity, to keep this. Very difficult.
You said that there are a few magical directors. Who are your favorite directors that inspire you?
Magic director is Antonioni. Antonioni, for instance, the film Night is complete magic. Also Tarkovsky. It's like Stalker or Andrei Rublev. There are many magic things in these films also, and Stalker. There are also Fellini. I don't remember all. I don't remember. I can't say all, but there are a few directors who you don't understand. You cannot rationally to understand them. You understand that there is God, there is something. Something behind this. What you cannot explain.
I want to. We are short on time. We could talk forever, it seems to me, but so many topics. Let's talk about Aika, your last film so far. But let's first watch a short clip from Aika.
Давай, вставай кормить ребенка. Готовь грудь. Да, конечно. Смотрите, это же не снизу. Снизу, вот так, молодец, хорошо. Да. Не бойся, это все нормально. Носик все равно должен упираться в грудь. Не задохнуться, все хорошо здесь. Вот так. И поддерживай постоянно на этом. Вот. Давай быстрее. Молодец.
This is Aika's film about a young woman from Kyrgyzstan, Aika, who just gave birth to a child, but she escapes the hospital, leaves her baby, and goes back to work immediately because she owes a large sum of money to some mafia guys. And we follow her almost in the next couple of days trying to repay her debt. And this film looks extraordinarily real. And it happens in Moscow, and we follow her in a subway, on the streets. Did you shoot on open locations, on real locations? For example, when you go to metro or when you walk through the streets?
Yes, yes. This is a real location. I mean, a real on the metro, real Moscow streets. Everything real. We used, we built some locations. We built some flat for these migrants. But very copy of real flat. but mostly the city. For me, one of the task was to show winter Moscow, a real winter Moscow atmosphere. And that's why, because it's very rare example when we can see Moscow, because it's very hard to shoot in Moscow, and people try, directors, they try to shoot Moscow in some other places to which looks similar. But I wanted to shoot in Moscow and to shoot in real streets, to shoot real people, to shoot real underground. That was one of my tasks, because Moscow is like part of dramaturgy, part of the story.
And also, this winter had the biggest snow in 100 years. And so, how long did you shoot this film? And was it a pressure for you to shoot before snow melts? How many repetitions did you do? It is like a completely unpredictable situation.
Ooh, it's a long story. It's a very painful story because the whole period of shooting was 6 years. 6 years, not completely 6 years. Of course, we shot during the winter, a little bit spring, but only this time. But we started shooting. By the way, on the script, it was not winter. On the script, it was like spring time, you know. But when we came to the set, and once it was strong snow, and we just shot some scenes with this snow, and we talked to my camera woman, Yolanta Dilevska, my DOP, great DOP. And Yola said to me, we need to shoot in winter because it's very important for the story. And I was also sure, I agreed, because it was important for the story because she was pregnant, and how she could hide the pregnancy, first of all. And then also because snowstorm just made the story more precise, made more powerful the story. And now it's impossible to imagine this film without snow. But it was very hard decision, and just due to that decision, we spent much time waiting for snow, because it was very snowy winter. Then it was three winters without much snow, and then it was again big snow, and it was, of course, very hard. We broke all plans. It's really stupid. I mean, only crazy people can take these kind of decisions, like myself. You know, I understand this, but I can do nothing. That's why I said, when I meet students, I said, I'm wrong director. I cannot tell you how to make films properly. I just make films how I can make them. This is only my experience. If you want to repeat, okay, try, but think about yourself, about your own vision, about your own way of making films. But this, my way, is nice way, but very, very difficult. Very difficult. Extremely difficult, I would say. Not only for me, but also for producers. That's why I'm one of producer, by the way, because I wanted to share this responsibility, because I knew that it's very difficult to produce this kind of films. That's why I took responsibility myself also.
We have a question from a chat. How do you cast your actors? In ICA, you have professional actors mixed with non-professionals.
No, first of all, of course, when I can use professional actors, I use professional actors. I mean, depends on the role. For the main part, of course, I realize that it's I need to find professional. But from the very beginning, I knew that Samal, the main actress, Kazakh actress, she will play their role, because I knew from the very beginning. Because even when I wrote the script, I wrote thinking about her, because because she is very strong actress, very unique actress, and I knew that only she can make this role a very painful, a very difficult role properly, because she's very hardworking woman, actress, and very also not technical actress, but very, very, she plays, from inside. She doesn't use much technique, but she just live. She can live on screen. She can really survive and live on screen, and for her it was I was sure 100%. For other people, I used some professional actors when I felt that they are not, that they are flexible, that they are not they don't have too much cliches. If they acted too much in serials on TV, if they have a lot of cliches, then I tried to get rid of them. I didn't want to take them. I take only actors who are open, who are flexible, who are ready to work hard and to change everything and to start from scratch, or just ordinary people who I train, because I have my own training system for amateur actors, and I train them, and I make them actors for my film, not for theater, not for classical theater, but for film. Yes, they became actors. I have my system. I just this is my experience. Just how I felt. I can train them, because some people, they say, no, I cannot play at all. I'm not creative person. I cannot play. But when I work with them, they start playing, and they work. They became actors, But it's much work. It's much work for all these people. It's much work. But I need, I need.
Excuse me, but you must tell us what is your system now. You must tell us more.
This is very difficult, because it's I cannot explain. I think we need another 2 hours to explain completely. But it's like mix of. I can just tell shortly. It's like mix of training to be flexible inside, to be ready to play, like children, to be open, to be flexible, and next second part of this work is how to make them not to be afraid of camera, to be flexible in front of camera. First is to make them free, to make them very flexible, and to make them to act. Next step is to act for camera, to get them, to get habit, to be free in front of camera. Two parts of work, and for every part I have some exercises, but I could tell more, but it's I think it's not possible now to make too briefly.
Okay, we can make a deal right now that we make in the future another masterclass.
Okay.
About this. Okay. So you edit. I read that you were editing during the shooting the film, and you edit very often your films yourself. How come? Don't like work with editors, or you just feel
Yes. From my first film, when I was editing Paradise, my first film, I used a professional editor, and for the whole film, and I didn't understand why I need this person between me and film. Why I need this woman sitting between me and film? I know my film. I know equipment. I can do it myself. And then I started, because the documentary passed, I started working myself. And now for my fiction, also I edit myself the whole film. Just in the end, I use professional editor from Belgrade. I use him because Petar Markovic, because you know, he is very helpful for slight things, you know, to tune something. If he is clever man, he can also tell he's thinking about film in the end, you know, just to tune something, you know, to make slight transitions, you know, slight right moments, to cut few frames like this, you know. But I like very much to edit myself from the very beginning, to feel a film, because what is important, what I think many directors cannot do. What is important is to understand what you shot. Sometimes people don't understand. Sometimes they shot something, but they cannot weigh up this. They don't understand where is energy, if there is energy or not, how to change this energy, how to change the shot, how to cut the shot, in what point. That's why I watch many times, and I have my also method how to edit. I watch material very early in the morning, like at 6 o'clock. I watch. I just wake up, make toilet and something, and then immediately watch film. And then I'm very, very free, and I have very fresh eye. I like very much to watch very early in the morning. And not every editor can work like this.
I must ask you something. This is maybe a little bit unpolite, but all film professionals are interested in this, I guess, because I think it's a great privilege to film little. You know, you have a long gaps between your films, and do you have some other career going on, like making commercials, or how do you survive? Can you just survive from your filmmaking, or you must do other stuff like television or?
Oh no. My life is very modest life, very modest. Now, for instance, after ICA, I'm in a very, very bad financial situation, because I was one of producer and I spent much money for the film, much more than I expected. I borrowed a lot, and this is just a reality now. I'm now trying to survive after ICA, to be honest. And we'll see how I can cope with this. I don't work for any other films. I don't work for TV. I don't work for advertising. I am concentrated on film, only on film. I edit script. Sometimes I help people to write some script, but it's very rarely. Just for my friends, I help them. And now I'm writing like 3 stories, 3 different stories. One story, then I stopped, and now I'm making 2 other stories. You ask me how I can survive. I don't know. Really, I don't know. This is, I would say, my way is very difficult way, and not comfortable at all. That's why I say this is my way. This is my way. This is only my way. Now people, young directors, they want now life is like this. Now we need money everywhere. We need to pay for everything, you know, and it's very difficult for directors to be art house directors now. But this is my life, you know, not easy. Yeah, I could work because I was invited to make some American films, you know, to make films in America and so on. But I quitted this because I didn't feel that I can make my films there. But I want to very much to make my films, to make films what I want to make, really. And this is very difficult, hard way of making films and living. But I'm happy with this. I like this, despite all these difficulties. I like very much.
How close are you to making your next film?
Well, I could say in the very beginning, I'm still writing script, and I could be faster, but this pandemic situation changed everything, because I wanted to go to research to the north of Russia, because I want to make films in the north of Russia, in the North River in Russian north. And I went there and I made some research, but I need to continue. But now the pandemic situation is very difficult there, and I cannot go there. And I was ill myself also some time. But I think I can start next year. I can start making this film, because I'm working still on script, but it will be ready, I think.
Are you worried that Corona, this pandemic situation, will kill cinema?
Kill cinema?
Like close cinema halls, and that everything will become Netflix or streaming? Or?
I think it will not kill completely. It will change. It will change. And yes, it will be much more online cinema service. Online, but I think I'm sure it will not kill. It will not kill. It's like just changing. It's just changing of technique. But of course, it's a much more difficult situation for film. But I'm sure that it will survive, and I will do my best to for this also.
Okay, we are now 10 minutes over our time already, so I think we should end. But thank you very, very much. For me, it was extremely interesting and talk. And I hope really that we will have a chance to do another masterclass. And we already have this topic, which I'm sure that I would love to hear more about this. So yeah,
thank you, Nebojša. Thank you, Nebojša. Thank you very much for this talk. I would like, of course, I would prefer also to meet live, to talk in front of you. But I promise, if you want, we can make some talking more about these cinema aspects.
Well, I promise you that if it will be possible, and if you will have time, as soon as this thing passed, we bring you to Croatia to make one. Masterclass in live, to meet people live. So yeah, let's hope.
We will with happiness. I will be happy with to come. And don't forget, we are in one group in football championship. Croatia and Russia in one group. And it will be very interesting to see. Thank you very much, Nebojša.
Thank you, and take care, and hope to see you soon.
Bye.